Ernest Rides Again has Ernest teaming up with Dr. Melon to search for jewels that are apparently in a cannon while some bad guys are after them. so, so the positives on the movie are the Ernest P. Worrell song in the beginning was kind of cool. It's like a folklore type song of Ernest, so I thought that was actually pretty catchy. This movie is a moderately fun movie. It just has some fun comedic sequences. In the beginning, tools start to move by themselves and attack Ernest. I thought that was pretty funny. He hits his head on like a board and a handsaw chases after him. That was pretty cool. He gets stuck in a cannon and there's like a spider in the cannon. And then eventually the cannon gets unhooked from the car that was pulling it down the road, and then the cannon just starts rolling down the road, and that was pretty funny. The cannon crashes through a birthday party, and then it crashes into a van that keeps going down the road. And Dr. Melon has to eventually save Ernest, and he has to jump on the cannon to save Ernest, so that was pretty funny. So some pretty good sequences that were pretty funny. And then I thought Dr. Glenn Cliff was a pretty good villain. He's doing anything he can to get the jewels from the cannon, so he takes the cannon from Ernest and Dr. Melon, even though Ernest is stuck in the cannon, to try and get it back to his place to remove the jewels from it. So that was pretty cool. So I thought he was kind of an interesting villain in this movie. That's it for positives. On to the negatives. I really don't think the movie is as interesting as some of the better ones. Like Scared Stupid has trolls and has like a horror take on an Ernest movie. Jail has Mr. Nash, which is more interesting because he's played by Jim Varney, who also plays Ernest. Ernest Saves Christmas has Santa Claus, so there's a little supernatural element in there, so that's kind of fun. And then Ernest Goes to Camp has Ernest Saving a Camp, one of the best movies of all time, one of the best comedies, one of my favorite comedies of all time. And then you get to this movie, which I think this is actually the fifth Ernest movie, so I think this is the first Ernest movie that doesn't go to theaters. And so this one just doesn't really seem as interesting. This movie has them looking for a cannon for treasure, and it really doesn't feel that special. Another negative is Ernest kind of just does voices for like really no reason in the plot. Like he uses one to get away from a bad guy, but like for the most part he's just kind of talking to himself or talking to some people without a real purpose of doing these voices and dressing up. So I didn't think there was really a purpose in that as other Ernest movies. Another negative was that there was no way the bad guys shot the tire of the car that Dr. Melon's wife was in, because the car practically covers the tires, and they're shooting from far back, which like was straight onto the car, but like they were on a bridge, so they'd have to be like they'd be pointing the gun down to the car, but like the car was so low to the ground that it practically covered the tires. So that didn't make a lot of sense that they were able to shoot the tires of that car. The last negative is Dr. Melon changing from hating Ernest when they couldn't find the jewels in the cannon to, for whatever reason, liking him and defending him from his wife. That kind of came out of nowhere because she's like, hey, Ernest, you shouldn't be hanging out with Ernest. when like a second ago he was like, oh, that Ernest guy, when they just got done doing a fight, like, Ernest, you're terrible. So, Ernest, you're terrible. His wife says, yeah, that Ernest guy is terrible. And then he just goes like, you know what? Ernest is good. That's about it. So, like, I don't really know where that change came from. So that didn't really have anything interesting going on with him, because, like, he, for the most part, just does not like Ernest. But in one scene, he changes it. And Ernest didn't even really do anything to change his mind. So, that's it for negatives. In the end, Ernest Rides Again, it's an okay movie. Like, if you like a good few of the Ernest movies, you'll probably enjoy this one. I kind of enjoyed this one. So, but it's not great. So, Ernest Rides Again, it was fine. It was watchable. It's not great. That's my review on Ernest Rides Again. Thanks for watching.